my life prior to coming into ACN. But when you sit here and just listen to people share, it's hard not to get excited. You hear them talk from their heart, saying things that allowed them to have success. And before I jump into my subject, man, how many of us love hearing Raul do the compensation plan? Man, he is our secret weapon from down under. Raul, I'll tell you what, brother. I mean, I've gotten text message after text message like, man, this guy's good. I said, good. He has 70,000 customers. That he's good. He's good because he climbed to the top of the compensation plan, because he worked harder on himself than he did on his business. The guy you're seeing here tonight wasn't the guy you would have met 15 years ago. If you ever have a chance to sit down with him and hear his journey from where he started to where he is today, number one, you'll be inspired. It'll be the number one takeaway you'll have. When I met him for the very first time, and he talked to me about sitting at a coffee shop every single day to meet people, talked about being an introvert, right? How many of you can relate, right? Had to overcome that shyness that some people just have. But he went from that introvert, shy individual sitting at a coffee shop just waiting for someone to talk to tonight doing an amazing job teaching a compensation plan. He's a platinum regional vice president. I thought he did an amazing job here tonight. Let's give him a round of applause, everybody, for our very own regional vice president platinum, Mr. Raul. Raul, thank you so much for showing up and doing what you did here tonight. And I'm like you, my friend. We had a conference call on Thursday. So ACN, periodically, the founders, they get together with the leadership and, hey, guys, let's just some updates and other things. So just like any other call, we're on, we're present, we're taking notes, just like most of you here tonight. And so the ownership of the company gets on, and they were like, look, we told you from the very beginning of this company, we are never going to get rich on the backs of people, that we are here to get rich with people. And so starting November 1st, now remember, this is just an average call, just like we're on here today. He said, starting November 1st, for any platinum RVP or any gold RVP, we are going to double your residuals at those positions. Now imagine that announcement being made on a Thursday afternoon. I'm watching people's calculators just start to smoke instantaneously. People are sitting there doing their own numbers, realizing that the residual is doubling, which in some cases is already an enormous amount of money. They're doubling their residual, and the only thing they had to do is show up November 1st. Does that make sense? Meaning that's all they had to do in order for them to be able to get paid double the residual that they were literally making 24 hours before. Now, imagine you were with a company that just throws together a normal conference call, and that's just one of the things that they share with all of us in the field. Man, you can imagine the call was electric. We had Caesar and Sonia Buffoni on here. Their new platinum regional vice president. Could you imagine how excited someone like they are? Or somebody like a Jeff and Melissa Street, or countless other people that instantaneously we're able to not only see an increase, but know that's available for every single person on here today. How many of you were in love with ACN a little bit ago, but just fell even further in love to see what they're willing to do, where they're literally willing to pay us more money, double our residual, and the only thing we've got to do is go to regional vice president gold or go to regional vice president platinum. Platinum will be 4.5%. 4.5% residual on your customers. I mean, can you imagine that kind of a pay raise happening all across the board in ACN? Now, look, here's what I know. One, if you're new to the team here tonight, or maybe this is your first or second leadership call, these are the kind of things that we've seen over the last 20 plus years, where I've been literally working with these guys for 20 plus years. And every single time they found a way to give us more money in the field. How many of you love that? Even though inflation is going up, right? The cost of doing business is going up. Can we agree all the other factors in the world? Most companies aren't talking about doubling what you make. Can we agree most companies are trying to figure out ways to cut back, to save? Why? Oh, inflation's out of control, right? The cost of living's out of control. We're not in a position to give you guys more. And here we are with a company, and a blessed company. I like what I saw in a blessed company that's giving back to us in the field. How many of you are fired up with, how many of us, calls over, right? How many? I need to go talk to some people, right? I see Matt Middlestad. He's going to drop off the line right now. Money May, she's going to drop off the line right now. Dr. Hill, she's already left. She's gone. She's on her way to do a Zoom meeting tonight. See, that's what I love so much about what we're doing is if we can just focus on our job and think about what our job is. I love what you heard. Mark Stone tonight, regional coordinator. Here's what I heard from Mr. Mark Stone. You know what I heard? I never miss an event. How many of you took a note on that? I never miss an event. Here's what I found. Success leaves clues. And that is a huge clue for everybody that's on here for maybe the first or second time. Number two, Janesh, congratulations. They just hit regional coordinator. Here's what I loved. Groundbreaking healthcare service. Did everybody hear that? Now he's living in New Jersey. Can we agree? Here's a guy living in New Jersey with a groundbreaking healthcare option and has went out and put 475 points on, didn't allow for the state of New Jersey to be his excuse not to win, but to allow that excuse to say, hey, look, I'm going to focus on Pennsylvania. Him and I were on the phone earlier today. He's like, Patrick, we got amazing energy rates in Pennsylvania. We got as much health care as I could sell in Pennsylvania. There's tens of millions of people next door to my state that I'm going to go after every single last one of them. Congratulations to you, my friend. And so when I love hearing Money May talk about accountability, how many of you took a note on that? Right? Who are you accountable to? Who's holding you accountable to do the things you said you were going to do? See, my mentor said something to me early on in my business. He said, commitment is doing the thing you said you were going to do long after the feeling in which you said it in has left you. Right? It's easy to get excited when everybody else is excited. It's easy to get excited when somebody said yes as a customer or somebody said yes as a business partner. But let me tell you where the real champion lives. The champion lives by showing up every single day, ready to go to work. And here's what else I wrote down. Consistency. Right? Consistency. How many of you wrote that word down here tonight? I heard Matt Middlestad and Money May talk about the consistent person. The consistent person will win. You know, Randy Darnell talks about eyeballs on the business. See, here's what I love so much about this opportunity is you can get great information just sitting here listening to people give a testimonial. They're letting you into their playbook and how they became the top 10 in this team, which inevitably is the top 10 in this company. So let's just break down the simple. Number one, how many of you here tonight have a Zoom meeting scheduled for the next 72 hours? See, if you're on here tonight and you don't have a Zoom meeting scheduled for the next 72 hours, how is it you're going to get more people in your business? See, we're going to meet people tomorrow. We're going to meet people on Sunday. Yes or no? You're going to have people calling you, running into you, people that you're going to naturally see. And if you don't have somewhere to go, something to promote, something to talk about, how many of you got caught in explaining ACN instead of inviting them to come see ACN? See, every single one of us have to start with a Zoom meeting. You know, Harsh Patel, he's the number one RVP in the company right now. I love when he talks about 24 personal recruits. 24 personal recruits. If you're taking notes, write that down. What does 24 personal recruit? That means you personally, you, Patrick Mazer, personally have recruited 24 people. See, he's done the math. And here's what we found is if you have 24 people recruited, you personally, you're going to become a regional director. How many of you love to have something to shoot for? How many of you love to know what the numbers are? Taking the emotional roller coaster out of our business. If you know it's 24 personal recruits and you're sitting here tonight at 7, can we agree you still have some road to go to 24? Right? If you're sitting here tonight and you have 7 people in your team, you know that you have to go from 7 to 24 personal recruits in order for you to become a regional director. And here's what I love. Ridiculous dollars. Thank you, Raul. Ridiculous dollars. How many of you wrote that one down? Ridiculous dollars, man. I wrote that down. And so this is what's going to allow you to be a regional director. You got to have 24 recruits. Well, look, where do I get 24 recruits? How do I find 24 people? Number one, how many of you here tonight have over 100 or 200 people in your cell phone? See, I love what Mark Stone said. He said, I started to turn my nose into customers. I went from 7 customers to 81 customers. What changed? Still did presentations, still showed people the opportunity. He just said in the end, hey, listen, if it's not for you, do me a personal favor. Support me in my business. Can I count on your support? Can I count on you supporting me in my new endeavor? Great, become my personal customer. How many of you see the value in turning the no's and the maybes into customers? How many of you would love to have 81 personal customers because some people just said no? And I don't ask people why they say no. That's not my job. My job is just to ask them, do you see an opportunity or not? Not for me? Great. Well, guess what? Saving money on cell phone service might be for you. Would you do me a personal favor? Protecting your identity, would you do me a personal favor? Paying less on healthcare, would you do me a personal favor? How many of you can fall in love with asking for a personal favor at the end of the presentation? No, number two is once you've got that Zoom book, right? Everybody on here tonight, you got to lead by example. I've never watched one leader come into this to tell me, oh, my team did it. My team did all the work. My team went out and did. Every single leader is out there leading by example. It's the only way you can influence another person is by your example. I remember my mentor used to say to me, Patrick, show me your day timer and I'll show you your future. Show me how many meetings you've got in your day timer and I'll tell you where you're going to be in a year from now. See, he was like, look, it's the only thing you can control is how many presentations that you're putting people in front of. So now that I've got a meeting booked, now that I'm saying, man, I'm planting my flag, it's Tuesday night, it's Monday night, it's Wednesday night. Okay, great. Now what do? I have to dump every contact out of my phone, and I've got to become serious with the contacting sport of inviting people. See, ACN can double the commissions for a regional vice president platinum. They can double the commissions for a regional vice president gold. But if you don't have people coming in front of ACN, can we agree? Too bad for you. Too bad for you. But the person that is putting people in front of this opportunity, the person that is getting great at an invite script, getting great at asking a simple question, do you look at other ways of making money? If you are getting great at the basics of our business, inevitably you will be an RVP Gold. If you believe you'll be an RVP Gold, put it in the chat, RVP Gold. If you believe you'll be you might be on here tonight saying, I can't see SVP, but I can see 4 legs of business, Patrick. I believe if it took everything inside of me, I believe I could find 4 crazy people that would go out and put 1,000 customers each. Yes or no? So I got 4,000 customers. I believe I could find 4 crazy people. How many of you think you could find 4 crazy people? 4 people that had enough of life being the way it is. 4 people that said, I'm tired of living paycheck to paycheck. 4 people that said, man, I'm tired about worrying about who's in the White House and I want to worry about who's in my house. How many of us, we can find 4 crazy people to go out and put 1,000 customers each in 4 separate legs? Guess what? Welcome to RVP, folks. That's the goal. Now, here's what it says in Matthew 7:7. Seek and ye shall find. Ask and it shall be given, right? Knock and the door shall be open. Here's the reality, folks, is once you schedule the meeting and now you got to go through your contacts and the people you don't want to call are the ones you have to call. I'm going to repeat that. The people you don't want to call are the people you have to call. Listen, we all have low-hanging fruit, right? We all have mom and them. How many of you know what I'm talking about? Mom and them. Right? I'm going to call mom's friends, right? My Aunt Barb, my Aunt Sue. Yeah, look, I love them. And they're going to benefit on your success because a lot of people are going to eat from your plate of prosperity, I promise you. There's going to be a lot of family members that are going to be eating steaks and eating lobsters because of your gold and platinum residual check, I promise you. But if you're expecting those are the individuals that are going to take you to the financial promised land, I'm here to tell you business owners, self-employed people, and people that have done network marketing. If you want the secret to success, if you want the one reason that some people go faster than others, let me tell you what it is. They focus on who to talk to. Who to talk to. How many of you have business owners right now in your phone that you haven't approached by ACN? And you have no idea what's going on in that business owner's life right now. This is business owner fantasy land, folks. I promise you, you'll call any business owner in America, and they're going to tell you about how tough it is to get a good employee in America right now. They're going to tell you how the skyrocketing benefits of this country have become out of control for most of small business owners in America. They're going to talk about how hard it is to be able to keep costs down and still squeeze out a profit. See, understand that the business owner of America wants the freedom of business ownership. They don't want the overhead, the operating costs, and all the risk that goes along with business ownership. Yes or no? We've got business ownership fantasy land here tonight, folks. This is the big business ownership opportunity with zero risk, with no overhead, no operating costs. And oh, by the way, we're going to double what you're going to get paid just because you hit a position. How many of you love that? How many of you love the fact that ACN took the millions of dollars on of overhead and operating costs, right? And all the stuff that they have to do in order to keep the doors open. You and I have to get good at one thing, talking to people. Now, how do you become great at talking to people? How many of you would agree the more you do it, the easier it becomes? The more you do it. Every single RVP on here tonight, if they were to unmute themselves here, what they would tell you. I was bad when I started, and I got better over a period of time. I was bad when I started. Now, look, JT, who did an amazing job here tonight, JT, one of the best trainings I've seen you done. If you ever sit down with JT and spend a couple of minutes with JT, here's what you're going to find. The guy that recruited him was not somebody he looked up to, was not somebody he would have took financial advice from, was not somebody that he said, stop what you're doing right here. Let me take notes on what you're saying. He just had a message that resonated with JT. Does that make sense? Now, JT eventually said, take me to your leader, but that guy got him to say yes to the opportunity. What does that mean? JT was a business owner. JT was already self-employed. JT was already successful by anybody's standards in America. When you don't have a job in America, you're called successful. Yes or no? Unless you're unemployed. But I'm talking entrepreneur without a job, right? Meaning out there making a living and eventually making a life without having to punch a clock to do it. In my book, that's called success. How about you? And so the reason I say that, imagine if that person would have said, well, I'm not in a big enough position yet, and I've got to practice some more, and I got to be a regional director before I call JT. He would have missed out on one of the greatest leaders this company has to offer. And I share that with you because those same people that are in your phone, the same people that every single one of us know, it is the brave that pick up the phone and give them an invite call. Now, once you give them an invite call, what's the second thing you need to do? You need to put a confirmation list together. See, without a confirmation list, you are at 0 to 40% show up without a confirmation list. Now, with a confirmation list, you're 40 to 60%. What's a confirmation list, Patrick? Well, that's pretty simple. That means here's the people that I invited onto my call. It's going to be Monday night at 6 o'clock. I have 17 people that told me they're going to be there. Here's the list of 17 people. And guess what I get to do? I get to call those 17 people and I get to introduce myself. Hey, you and I don't know each other here tonight. Rebecca invited you onto a call tonight at 7 o'clock. I can't wait to meet you. Do you have the Zoom link? And I'm looking forward to meeting you. These are my future friends. Yes or no? These are my future business partners. Yes or no? These are my future customers. Yes or no? Now, if you're in business, how many of you ever walked into a store, right? What's the first thing they say? How you doing? Can I help you? Did you ever notice how happy they are when you walk into that store? Why? Because you are called a future customer. Well, guess what a confirmation call is? A welcome, great to meet you, looking forward to spending some time with you tonight at 7 o'clock. So let's go over what we do here at ACN. For those of you that are a little slow and maybe slow taking notes here tonight. Number one, we schedule Zoom meetings. Where does Zoom meetings start? They start in the mirror, right? You got to have a conversation with yourself. Lord, I want to be a gold RVP. Lord, you know I want platinum RVP. I've done the math, and they're going to double the residual. Man, I just moved up 7,000 square feet of a house just because of that doubling of my income. Lord, okay, what do I need to do? Well, I need to schedule Zoom meeting. Okay, great. You got to schedule a Zoom meeting. If you want the miracle to happen, the miracle is going to happen in scheduling the Zoom meeting. Number two, we got to build a massive list. Folks, I never stop writing people's names down. I am a name collector. I am a number collector. I tell people, hey, give me your number. That's what I say to people. People are like, how do you pique interest? I'm very easy. I'm like, hey, dude, give me your number. I'm going to run a business idea by you. Give me your number. Now, the reason I do those things is because I can't help not do them. Does that make sense? I've been doing them so long, I don't know how else to do it. Number three, I practice a script. Hey, do you look at other ways of making money? Do you look at other ways of making money? That is a yes question. The only people that say no to that question are people that didn't understand the question. And sometimes you have to ask that question twice. Do you look at other ways of making money? Apps, okay, great. Let me tell you who you're going to meet. Now, this is a secret. Are you ready? I'm going to only share this secret tonight for you that are on here. The 169 people that made it on the call tonight, here's the secret to get people to show up. Are you ready? Edification. It's called speaking good about somebody else. Make them walk on water. Make them have a cape on and fly around the room. Make them bigger than life. Make them the most successful multi-business owner that you've ever had the good fortune to get to meet. You're so humbled by their success, you can't even believe they're going to get on your call at 7 o'clock on Monday. Folks, let me tell you what everybody wants. They want to meet the person that everybody talks good about. You know why? Because nobody heard anybody talking good about people, yes or no? That's the rarest thing in this country right now is people talking good about people. And there you are talking good about Dr. Hill. Let me tell you about Rick Cordero. Let me tell you about Money May. Let me tell you about Caesar Buffon. And you make such a big deal about them. Here's how I used to know if I did a great job edifying somebody. Back when we did home meetings, people used to ask me what to wear. That's how I knew. When they were like, well, what should I wear? Oh, that means you're listening with both ears. When you're asking me what to wear to a meeting, means I did a great job of edifying the speaker. Does everybody see the value in this part? I don't care who you're calling, folks. You can get them to show up with that edification by making a big deal about your speaker and letting them know the person they're going to meet is an incredible human being, that you're honored and privileged to have a couple minutes of their time, and you don't even know how you did it, but you got 25 minutes of their time on Monday night. You're not calling everybody, but you are calling them. And can I put you down for coming? Can I put you down for coming? And here's what's exciting about that. Most people, if approached the right way, are going to end up saying yes. Now look, here's what we do. Are you ready? Night of your meeting. You got to give them that little text message before your meeting, right? 15 minutes before the meeting's about to begin. Looking forward to seeing you. Hey, have your camera on. Looking forward to seeing you. Looking forward to seeing you. Big night. Your job is to introduce the presenter. Sit back and take notes. Why do you take notes? Everybody's watching you. Yes or no? You are the one thing that brought everybody together here tonight, so they're watching you. And the third thing and the final thing is you promote the training. Why do you promote the training? Because people need to see it multiple times. How many of us would agree? How many of you here tonight are asking yourself, what does it mean, double platinum RVP residual? Right? Can we agree? That means you have to see it multiple times. Even though you probably looked at the comp plan, I'm sure you probably at one point looked, hey, what does a platinum RVP get? Okay, that's pretty interesting. Now you're going to figure out, what does that mean when they say they're going to double what somebody gets? So why do I promote training? Because here's what I know, is when they come to training and they get to meet people like you that are here tonight, people that are difference makers, people that are fighting for their family, people that are out there doing something great, people that are not making excuses for where they are, but making a resolution to go somewhere they've never been before. See, this is very rare air tonight. This is not normal. Most people do not get together on a Friday night to talk about bettering themselves and bettering their bank account. What are most people doing? Most people are trying to go to a happy hour. How many of us want a happy life instead of 1 hour? Right? Here's what's so beautiful about our business model is promoting the event. If you're taking notes tonight, write that down. Promoting the event. I get up 2 hours early. I get up 2 hours early on a Saturday morning. Why? Because I'm going to spend the next 2 hours doing one thing and one thing only. Calling people about training. Tomorrow's game day, yes or no? Tomorrow's game day, folks. Now, how many of you play sports in school? Did you show up for the game 5 minutes before? Put in the chat, how early did you show up for the game? Put in the chat. I'd like to know if you played baseball or basketball or volleyball or whatever sport you played. 30 minutes, 1 hour, 1 hour early, 2 hours early, an hour early, 3 hours early, 90 minutes early, 2 hours, 2 hours, 1 hour, 2 hour, 4 to 5 hours early, 1 hour early, 1 hour early. So can we agree that every single one of us that just put in the chat, you showed up anywhere from an hour on? Can we agree? Pretty much the normal was an hour on, right? So if you showed up for something you never made a dollar on, never made a dollar. There was no promises of NBA championship rings for you. There was no promises you were going to the Super Bowl, right? The coach didn't pull you aside and said, you know what, I think you really have what it takes to go to the very top of this sport, right? They didn't take your parents and put them in a separate room and say, we've never seen a player like this before ever come through our whole organization. So if that never happened to any of us, and I'm going to just generalize and say most of us never made any money playing sports, yes or no? Yet, we showed up an hour early for something we never made a dollar on. And then people ask me, what time should I show up for training on a Saturday? Well, if you showed up an hour early for something you never made any money on, and we're about to show you how to have life-changing residual income, that you can win. How do I know you can win? Because I can create a whole bunch of RVPs and SVPs in front of you here tonight. And the one commonality you're going to find amongst all of them, they're average individuals with above average opportunity. That's all it is. I don't believe I work harder than the guy that brushes sweeps the street in front of my house, right? I think he probably does work 8 to 10 hours, right? I probably wouldn't say that he works less or more. I'd say he's a hardworking person. The problem is his vehicle will never get him a past making a living. You have a vehicle that'll make you a fortune, but it'll only make you a fortune if you treat it the same way you've treated other things that never made you any money. How many of you getting something out of tonight? Tomorrow morning, let me tell you something, folks. If you want to get paid professional money, you better show up a professional tomorrow. You better show up with your game face on. You better show up with the old, what can I do to help to make this training better? What can I do to make my training the best? I want my training to be so good that even the no's are like, man, I should have do it, but for whatever reason, I'm not doing it. I want people to be so impressed with the level of professionalism. I want that chat to be lit up with people saying, I save money on healthcare. I save money on my cell phone. My mom got her information protected with ID seal. Do you realize what that would do to a guest in the audience? See, there's 169 of us on here tonight, but imagine if this was Saturday training. They don't know who's a rep and who's a guest. They don't know who's a top earner and who's just looking at us for the very first time. See, here's what you got to remember. That professional mindset of coming into this opportunity with the same mindset you would have in anything you expected to do at a very high level, do not bring down the professionalism of what we do. We are here tonight on a Friday night to say, look, your income just doubled. And the only thing you did to have your income double, Mike and I started, there was one position called RVP. That was it. One position, RVP. We worked night and day to hit it, man. We were obsessed. No, I take that back. We were magnificently obsessed. We were beyond obsessed, right? People knew one thing about it. Either we were going to ask for $300 or get your utility bill. They knew one or two things were going to happen. Oh, here comes the Mazer boys. They're going to take $300 from you, or they're going to take your utility bill. One or the other. So you better either figure out which way you're going to go with them, because that's the only two positions they have, right? So having said all of that, then ACN one day says, hey, we're going to bring a position called Regional Senior Vice President, SVP. We said, this is incredible. How can there ever be anything more than RVP? This is the most insane thing I've ever seen. On bills that people have to pay, forget about it. And then one day they were like, we really want to help people stair-step to SVP. So how are we going to help them stair-step to SVP? Well, let's do a gold where they can get paid more money, and let's do a platinum RVP so they get paid more money. And we're like, this is insanity. This is incredible. You're going to pay us more money on our way to the senior vice president position? Then they go, we're just going to put a platinum senior vice president position. We're going to even give you more money for those of you that are super ambitious, for those of you that don't have a stop, for those of you that want to climb to the very top of something. We're going to put that position out. And in the meantime, on a Thursday afternoon, on just a nonchalant, hey guys, good to see everybody. Hope your virtual events went really well. We've been sitting at the home office figuring out ways to give everybody more money. Here's what we came up with. One, we're going to pay $100 anybody go see Q. What? We're going to, what are you talking about? We're going to pay them to go see Q? This is insanity. Yeah, and then we're just going to double the residuals for RVP Platinum and RVP Gold. What? I'm watching people literally in the middle of the meeting turn their camera up because they were working their calculator out. Every single one of them. And what that meant to them. And how big of a deal that was for them. And how much life-changing more income that was than what they already had. And so if you think about what we do here tonight, number one, we got a simple business, yes or no? But simple does not mean easy. What you're doing here tonight was simple. Didn't mean it was easy. Folks, you probably could tell I'm not sitting in my house right now tonight. You know where I'm at? I'm here with you. You know why? Because this is important in my life. And because it's important in my life, ACN takes care of my family because I make ACN important. Does that make sense? See, you got to make things important in your life that are going to take care of your family long term. Now, I don't expect everybody in my family to understand what I'm doing because they've never been to where we've been. So of course they're not going to understand. Could you imagine me trying to convince my children why a Friday night leadership's important when they're 8 years old? They don't know what that means, right? But I'm not here to solicit their opinion. I'm here to do what I know is important in my business, which is number one, put my business at a very high priority. And if you put it at a very high priority, it will pay you a very high income. Number two is all we've got to do is get great at number one, scheduling Zoom meetings. Every time somebody in your team calls you, before you answer any question, write this down. When is your Zoom meeting? Before you answer any question. When somebody calls you up and says, hey, my best friend's cousin's next door neighbor is a property manager, stop right there. When's your Zoom meeting? No, but Pat, you don't understand. He has a question about what the utility rate is for somebody that lives in central Pennsylvania. That's a great question. When's your Zoom meeting? No, Pat, you didn't understand what I said. My cousin is thinking about becoming a Flash Mobile customer, but does his phone have to be paid off? That's a great question. Let me ask you something. When's your Zoom meeting? See, if you become great at getting people to do money-making activities, guess what will happen? Money will be made because it's a money-making activity. People go, Patrick, what do you do? My job is very simple. Write in big letters, schedule Zoom meetings. My kids know that. Schedule Zoom meetings. That's all you got to do. Number two, you got to be great at getting them confident. Here's what I just said. Confident of picking up the phone. How do you get somebody confident picking up the phone? Gene will tell you. You practice a script. You practice it till they are so tired of you making them do it again. How many of you have children here tonight? How many of you made your children do something to the point they're like, I got it, right? How many of you know what I'm talking about? Like, I got it, Dad. I got it, Mom. Right? I got it. No, you don't have it. Do it again. No, you don't. Dude, my son came in. He thinks he's going to skate away with things, right? Like the one thing ACN taught me is you got to put the work in, right? So my kid comes home. He's doing some cursive, and he tries to skate through it. I said, great. Now do a whole page of it. He's like, a whole page? Yeah, do a whole page. Right? Then he brings the page in. I go, okay, great. Now, out of the page of cursive, is there any one of these that are not 100% correct in your mind? Yeah, this one here. Do it again. Do it again. Are you kidding me right now, Dad? Do it again. Dude, he brought it in. Now, is any one of these on the page not 100% correct? No, Dad, they're all 100% correct. Great. Why? Because I got to teach them one thing. You got to do the work. You better learn that script. If your family needs this to work, you better learn that script. If you need this to work for your family as bad as we needed to work for our family, you better learn that script. You better become so great in the middle of the night we can wake you up and you look at other ways of making money. Like, it's got to become second nature. You know why? Because when you're good at something, then you expect things to come from it, yes or no? Can we agree with that? Before you knew Michael Jordan's name, how many shots do you think that guy took before you knew his name? Did he expect to be one of the greatest ever? Yeah, because he put the work in. And because he put the work in, he expected to be one of the greatest. He didn't expect any shortcut and how do I get around doing as little as possible and make it as much as possible. That doesn't fly here. You got to put the work in. And the final thing to the whole thing is getting up early and getting on those events and be an asset to the team and not the liability to the team. We got to be the asset, folks. What's the asset? Hey, I'm ready to do a testimonial. Hey, I'm ready to put me in. Let me be the PBZ testimonial of the week. If you're looking for a PBZ, let me be the one. Let me put 30 people, Pat. I want to put 30 people. So next Friday night, which is let's do next Friday night is the 25th of October. I want you saying my name next Friday night. If that's you here tonight, and you think you can put the most people on a Zoom, I want to put you on the screen next Friday night in front of 165 people and let us celebrate you. Let you bring your whole family on the Zoom and let them see what a big deal we made of mom and dad because they were willing to do what other people are unwilling to do, and they will have what other people will never have. And they will never be apologetic because they put the work in. So if that's you here tonight, if you're going to be the featured person next week, if you're going to be like Patrick, I don't know what the other 164 are going to do. Matter of fact, probably not going to do little or to do a little bit to nothing. But I'm going to put 30 people on a Zoom this week. If that's you, you let your RD and RVP know because next Friday night, the 25th day of October, guess who we're going to feature? You. And we're going to let the whole world hear your story on how you picked up the phone and were not shy to make those phone calls and weren't embarrassed by your opportunity and had enough courage and enough reasons why to pick up the phone and do something that any single one of us could do. Ask people if they look at other ways of making money. So, folks, listen, I think we did a lot tonight. I love hearing the testimony. You guys fire me up. I think you get that feeling here tonight. Like, you guys fire me up. I am literally in awe with the people I get a chance to work with. I believe that God himself has brought some of the most amazing human beings together at a time in history that I don't even think we understand. Like, I think we'll look back in this when there's going to be gold promotions and platinum promotion, right? And people are going to be like, what is going on right now? Like, what is going on? And they're going to be looking around saying the whole economy's crashing down around us, but these guys over here, they're buying everything on discount. They're buying it all on discount because while everybody else is going down and the economy's having difficulty, our company doubles our residuals. I mean, if you can't get excited about a company that just doubled your residual and the only thing you had to do is be around to enjoy it, man, I'll tell you, it can't get much better than this. So, guys, tomorrow's game day, right? This ain't practice tomorrow. Tonight was practice, right? You get to show it up late tonight. You didn't have to have your camera on tonight. We didn't expect you to put in the chat tonight. This is practice. Tomorrow's game day. Tomorrow is game day. Number one, let's get up early tomorrow. Can we do that? Right? Number two, I can't wait to see who puts the most people on a Zoom on this week. How many of you are committed to that? Put in the chat if you're committed. Patrick, I will put the most people on a Zoom. If that's you tonight, put it in the chat just so I can get a screenshot of every single person on here that said, I will be the one that puts the most people in front of this opportunity this upcoming week. If that's you, man, throw the gauntlet down. Oh, I know, Money Bay, of course, yeah. Throw the gauntlet down. I'll be the one. Yeah, Lucy, of course. You just went RD. Come on, look at that. Let's go. But throw the gauntlet down, man. This is it. This is my game day. I will, Dr. Hill, I believe it. Look at that. I love it. People are taking a stand for their family, taking a stand for the people they love. Be that example. You can spend the rest of your career telling people, I put 30 people on a Zoom. What I do, I put 30 people on a Zoom call. Yeah, that's what I did. I'm the one. Man, I'll tell you, guys, it's been an honor and a privilege to work alongside of every single last one of you. I am so looking forward to the beaches of the world. I like what Mark Stone said. We're not going on any more vacations without your family. You, your family, let's walk the beaches of the world. Let's enjoy the opportunity to grow as people, to become a force to be recognized financially, and to help as many people as we can. So the only way I know how to end tonight is just in a word of prayer. And if I could, Mark, let's let the new RC, he's a prayer warrior, man. I get up at 6:30 to get on a prayer call with this guy. So Mark Stone, why don't you send us off tonight in a prayer? Congratulations with your RC, and I'll turn the call over to you.
Well, thank you, Patrick. Listen, you are on fire. I'm like, water can't put you out tonight, brother. So I'm excited. It's been phenomenal and so honored. So, Heavenly Father, we just stand before you. You are awesome all by yourself. All the worship that we have goes to you. All the praise go to you. We thank you for everyone who has been on the call tonight. Those who came on and may have to jump off, we ask that your blessings touch and reach them right where they are. Thank you for this phenomenal company. 32 years is going to hit in January, and they just keep getting gooder and gooder and gooder. Yeah, I said it, Lord. They just keep getting gooder and gooder. And I'm so honored to be a part of it like everyone else. Thank you for Patrick's, Michael's vision, these leaders, that are just making it so simplified for what we have our hands on. And I pray an abundance of blessing. I pray an outpouring of your spirit, your ruach, to just breathe over everyone tonight. I ask, Lord, that you continue to give us a vision, to give us forward thinking and not rear view mirror thinking. We want to go to the next plateau that you have for us, and we want to take masses along with us. So that means, Lord, you have to increase our capacity. When our capacity is increased, then we can help others improve their capacity. And so enlarge our territory is what you allowed Jabez to ask of you. And we're asking the same thing in that spirit, that you would enlarge our territory, Lord. And we're going to give you praise, glory, and honor. Everyone will have a wonderful day tomorrow, this weekend, next week, a great closeout of this month. Forget about day 31 in October and focus on day 31 in December. So the year will be great, not just the October 31 day with all the other things that go on there. So bless you, Father, and bless these your people. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen. Amen.
Amen.
Amen.
Great job, everybody.
Amen.
Amen.
Everybody.
Well, everyone.
Amen.
Amen.
Guys.
All right. God bless.